Hi everyone, Ashi here, and I want to let you guys know that there is a deep asceticism in me when it comes to LGBT representation in cartoons, because I spent a good 10 years of my life not seeing any representation, and the representation that I finally got was almost always censored. Now, there were a few good ones from my childhood, like Adventure Time when they heavily hinted Marceline and Bubblegum, and there was always the great thing of Steven Universe, but that came when I was in high school actually. But other than those two shows, there weren't really a lot of good representation when I was a kid. And I know I do not count Legend of Korra. Yes, that did come when I was like in middle school and high school, but this is Legend of Korra is one of the cases where the representation was not planned. It was shoehorned in at the end, and the creators have openly been quoted saying that. But now the creators claim that they planned it the whole time, but that's complete bullshit. But that's a rant for another video. No, I don't count Korra as proper LGBT representation. And that's what's kind of made this video, made me want to make this video. See, there's this level of, I guess, almost pessimistic of me when it comes to shows announcing LGBT rep. We have stuff like Voltron promising it, and then, we all know what happened in Voltron. And I still consider Voltron to be a pretty decent show. But today we're going to be talking about two shows in specific, Amphibia and The Ghost and Molly McGee. Now, The Ghost and Molly McGee, no. No. But we'll get to that. No, it's not. It's not what you guys think it's going to be. No way. But first, let's talk about Amphibia Season 3, and the announcement of Amphibia Season 3 containing LGBT characters. Right? That's why it got a Season 3, because it was the most popular show on Disney, and it's going to have LGBT rep. And Disney totally cares about your representation. Am I right? No, that's not right. Actually, that's bullshit. That's utter bullshit. If Disney cared about ratings and LGBT rep, they would keep the show going that has the best LGBT rep currently on Disney, that already had LGBT characters worked into its story really properly. But no, that's not the case. Now, let me explain this. Okay. If Disney cared about LGBT rep and proper written characters, then they would keep the Owl House going. They would have given the Owl House its 21 to 24 episode Season 3 like it was originally promised. But that is not what Disney did. Instead, they cut it short, ending it at Season 2 with 3 specials. Yes, these are 3 40-minute specials, I'm very aware, but it's still not the same as a full 21 to 24 episode season with 20 minutes each episode. No, they shoved Owl House under the table, and they didn't do it because the Owl House wasn't doing good. They did it because the Owl House had LGBT rep front and center. Now, let me tell you something about Amphibia. When it was announced to have LGBT rep during the Comic-Con stream in Season 3, I immediately was like, they're saying this in the same stream with Dana, who openly has LGBT rep from Season 1 of her show, and this white guy over here is claiming that he's going to have LGBT rep in his show. Why does everyone believe this is going to be something great, like one of the main characters are going to turn out to be LGBT? Because that's not what's going to happen. Season 3 is not going to play out like you think. So, if Amphibia was going to have a deep, intricate LGBT rep story among one of its main characters, or among even a human character that matters, then they would have been weaving it into the earlier seasons. But here's the thing, if Amphibia had that, it would have been cancelled just like the Owl House, for having too many main characters of the LGBT, because Disney does not care about your rep. They only care about getting you to view their shows, whether they're good or bad, because they think you're stupid. They think the LGBT community is stupid, and that we'll cling to anything with the word gay in it, regardless of the story. Now, I'm not saying Amphibia is not a good show. I think it's subpar. I think it's okay personally. It's not my favorite cartoon in any way, shape, or form. I don't think it's as good as the Owl House in any way. And I don't think it even holds up to some of the other past Disney cartoons like Gravity Falls or Kim Possible. But it's an okay cartoon. Now, as for LGBT rep and Amphibia, how I see it going is it will either be 2 non-humanoid characters that obviously none of us could see ourselves as because we are human. And that's how Disney will probably skirt by it. Or it will be some background parents, or maybe a background teacher, or some background character in the human world that we have no idea who the fuck they are, and we'll probably see them on screen once. Now, let's talk about the most unlikely. One of the main characters, or 2 of the main characters, turn out to be LGBT members. This is very unlikely, but if it does happen, it's going to be a chorus situation where they're slipped in at the end holding hands after their big adventure. And that's your representation, kids. Because that's what shows do. They want to represent you for money. So you'll watch their show, but they don't want to actually represent you. They don't want straight audiences and parents to see LGBT characters on the front screen. Amphibia won't show it. That's why Amphibia gets to keep going and why the Owl House doesn't. Now, does that suck? Yes. But I want you guys to be aware of that's how companies are. This is it. And the creator of Amphibia knows what he's doing too. He put it in that he will have an LGBT character, and he is just as guilty of this. But he is not representing us. The creator of Amphibia, I can't remember his damn name right now, but the creator of Amphibia is not representing you. No. And he does not plan to. He plans on shoehorning some small amount of LGBT, that way he can get your gay view. Does he care about the LGBT? No, probably not. Probably not in the slightest. If he did, he'd be fighting for Dana to get more of her show, or he would have weaved it into his earlier story. No. They don't care. They don't, and neither does he, and he, to me, is just as guilty as Disney at this point, because he's basically saying, he basically agreed with Disney, let's put in an LGBT rep, say it, so we can get more views for Season 3. That way we can outview the Owl House. That way we can have more views in the Owl House, and we can say, look, my show has proper representation. I am just as good as the Owl House, aren't I? Because that's all it boils down to, and that's what it is. Now, again, I don't have any personal problems with Amphibia as a show. I do think it's a shame that it gets to continue and the Owl House doesn't, because the Owl House is a way better cartoon. But I don't have any overly arcing issues with the show itself. I think it's pretty just okay. Like, I think the show is really mid-core in my opinion, which is why I've never really done videos on it. Though I have watched Season 1 and Season 2. Now, I do think the anime references are kind of funny, but that's about it. Now, in terms of why I'm going into this video and why I'm talking about this, actually, the more reason I'm angry and the more reason I'm making this video is the Ghost and Molly McGee. Now, the Ghost and Molly McGee is pure LGBT clickbait. And I know what you're thinking. Ashi, how could you know that? The show isn't even out yet. You're judging it before it releases. Let me tell you something. This show is not going to be story-driven. You can tell by the trailer that this is an episodic comedy, on par with something like, say, Big City Greens or Clarence or I don't know, any Teen Titans Go-esque monotonous storylines that will not carry on an overarching story. The Ghost and Molly McGee is not meant to carry on an overarching story. It is going to be a silly comedy cartoon. But it has promised LGBT rep, autistic rep, I think Jewish rep. Quite a few people are really excited about this show. Let me tell you, no. Don't get your hopes up. They are telling you this, that way you will watch the show. If there is a gay character in the show, I guarantee you it won't be the main character. And if it is, she won't show it till the end of the series. Or it'll just be subtext. Very poor, piss poor subtext. And why are they telling you this? Why are they announcing that they have LGBT rep and all this stuff in it? Because they want your views. They think so little of us as a community and so little of you as a person that they think just by saying there will be gay, you will watch their show regardless of it being good or bad. That's how much they undermine you. I want you to know that they are literally undermining all of you. This show, I have no hope for. Yes, I'll watch it. It's probably not going to be good. It's probably going to be a silly comedy show, and I'll probably be thinking, wow, if I wanted to watch a silly, more slice-of-life-based comedy with some action and some story, I would just go watch a better show like Craig of the fucking Creek. Because that show's actually amazing and highly underrated. Why would I watch this? Do I think there's going to be hard LGBT rep like they claim? No. There may be gay parents in the background, kind of like the Loud... I feel like the LGBT rep in the show will be sort of like the Loud House, where it's like there may be a gay parent that appears, like gay parents that appear in like 1 or 2 episodes, or they may allow one of the characters to be gay, but then retcon it, or take it away and break them up instantly after 1 episode. It's not going to be good. And as for the autistic rep, or I figure they'll probably just have one of the characters be really hyper and just say that represents autism, when that is, a very small facet of the spectrum. Then they'll also, as for the religious rep, I have no idea how that's going to work out because I never really look into religious rep when I'm watching shows. But no, the ghost of Molly McGee is my fucking issue with LGBT rep in cartoons. It is egregious. It is horrendous. It is fucking terrible what they think that they can get away with. They give you this and they say, it's going to be gay. Expecting it to be like the Owl House or She-Ra. But no, it's not. See, the shows that have LGBT rep woven into their stories naturally, with people who actually know how to represent LGBT members, those people don't have to say their show's going to have LGBT rep. Because once we start watching the episodes, we'll know. We'll know. Just like with She-Ra, just like with the Owl House. We'll know because it'll flow naturally. Like Bubblegum and Marceline. Because they don't need to brag about having gay characters. Because they wrote them naturally into the story to be presented as normal people. As it should be. No, these shows are going to take whatever minor LGBT rep they put in, they're going to flag it like it's a circus event, and they're going to say, look at us, we're progressive. I swear, I hate companies. I hate markets. I hate shit like this. Stuff like this is just beyond upsetting. And to see so many people getting hyped because of what this show is supposed to offer, no, this show is not going to be good. I'm already calling it. There may be, like, one or two jokes. Also, the claims about the show being the next Phineas and Ferb, I don't see that either. I don't see that. Phineas and Ferb had a certain charm to it that I don't see this show claiming. If anything, the next Phineas and Ferb, I don't see this going on building adventures with this young girl, making things, I don't know. I just don't see it being anything like Phineas and Ferb either. I feel like this is going to be a Teen Titans Go-esque comedy where the jokes are boiled down, simple and stupid, and if there is any LGBT rep at all that isn't hinted, or just subtextual, it's going to be from background characters that do not matter. That's about it. Like, it's going to be as queer-baiting as possible as it can. Like, it's going to make Voltron look bad. Like, it's going to make Voltron look good, I mean. It's not going to have any. I'm sorry, guys. And I hate to be the spoiler of this, but this is just how companies are, and I want you to know this. If Disney really cared about your LGBT rep, they would have given the Owl House its final season. The problem is, the Owl House had actual gay characters, front and center, parents were seeing them, straight people were seeing them, and then straight people complained, and that's why the show got taken down. But Disney's like, we don't want to appear homophobic, so we'll let creators like Amphibia hide gay people at the end of their story, where we can just say, hey look, this character's gay, you saw them for like 5 seconds, aren't we amazing? And shows like Molly McGee where they can shove them in the background of some comedy or play them off as some stupid bit, and then not have to show them again, because that covers their asses. And that's what they're doing. And that's what this video is about today, guys. So, let me know what you think of companies exploiting our sexual orientation in our community for profits. And do you really, really think these shows are actually going to represent you? Like, do you really think that? Because I don't see it. I think the shows that have good LGBT rep have it woven into the stories naturally. Stuff like She-Ra, stuff like The Owl House, stuff like Adventure Time, stuff like Steven Universe. Not stuff like this. Disney doesn't care. Anyways, this has been Ashi, and I'm signing out, and I'll see you guys in a theory video coming up later on this week. Bye.